And welcome back here to Crypto Hulk Show. I made it back in one piece. I'm telling you what, it was not good the other day. I had something bad and some kind of virus or something that hit. And damn, I ended up, I couldn't breathe barely. Ended up in the ER and everything started going dark. It was hard to breathe. And then next thing I know, I'm like in there and they got IVs in me and they're wiping my, I guess I vomited all over. It was just, man, it was all bad. Food poisoning, that stuff, man, will kick your ass. I'm telling you. So I'm still not quite at my peak. I'm about at 70%. So I'm trying to get back to it. Yeah, that was pretty scary. I do have to say my stomach's hurting, my neck is hurting, my head's hurting. And man, I'm just like, I'm still kind of out of it, but I got enough to make a show, but yeah, sure makes you wonder. Like at one point I'm just like saying, I think this is the end. Like I was sitting there and everything around me was just kind of slowly getting dark. And then I was just like, I think this is about it. I was like, damn, this is fucked up. So I told this person I was with, it was hard to tell him, like, hey, get that lady over here because I can't breathe. And then I started going dark. And next thing I know, I'm in a hospital bed with all these people around me trying to, yeah, it was not fun. So anyhow, let's get back to business here. I'm glad to be back. I love this job. No place like home. First 5 people to show up. We got Rocky and let's see, Beto, Danny Boy, AJ Singh, and Wayne Williams. Wayne, thank you very much. So this is for my not late but early fee. Okay, right on there, Wayne. Appreciate that. Oh, by the way, let's say you're a person that can't donate or you don't want to donate because you don't want to contribute to YouTube. One thing you can definitely do is get about 8 shows. My shows are about an hour long. Get about 8 of them. And welcome back, Crypto Hulk. Here we are again, right back at the 2.5 minute mark. They decided to pull the plug on the show. I get it back. That's kind of common, too. Like in the first 2 minutes, they're doing that dumb shit. Anyhow, we give a YT a nice FU YT. That's what we run on the program. I guess I'm like an anti-YT channel, even though I'm on YT. Isn't that something? So here's what I suggest. Let's bust the algorithm for YT that they have on my channel. So every single show, make sure you like it. Then after that, save this episode to your favorites. Even though it's not, just fucking do it. Send the show to friends or your own email. That'll help the algorithm. Then lastly, which is very important, do this, especially if you're a person who never donates or whatever, or if you don't have money, do this. Because this will be your way of paying it forward. Get 8 episodes and then loop them in a playlist on YT and then hit play. That's powerful. It works. I'm telling you. I'm seeing my hours watched numbers go up. So that'll help bust through. All these things will help bust through the algorithm. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Now let me go back in here and see what we got here. Just looking at the comment section. ED Entertainment, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. Appreciate that. And, there might have been some people donated before then. I can't quite see it now because I've already started the show. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Let's start in. I have a lot of news here to go over. A whole lot of news. And let's do this right here. First article. See, this is massive. This is so huge. You guys, look, I don't care what the price is. We don't care what the price is on Crypto Hulk. As long as it's super cheap, I'm going to show you which ones I'd buy. You don't have to buy any of them if you don't want. Let me go with copy and paste for this. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is the biggest of the big, everybody, is getting into cryptocurrency. You are at the last days of getting cheap crypto, okay? I don't know how long this will last. A month, 3 months or something, 6 months. It's all coming. You've got, here we go, listen to this. CME Group taps Google Cloud for pilot asset tokenization program. Now, this is very massive. The companies will start testing the Google Cloud Universal Ledger. Are we hearing this? A Google Cloud Universal Ledger with capital market participants in 2026. It is all coming, everybody, with the biggest of the big U.S. derivatives exchange operator. Oh, my God. CME Group is piloting solutions for tokenized assets using Google Cloud Universal Ledger. Holy shit, okay? You're seeing right here, everybody, it's coming, okay? The biggest of the biggest are getting into tokenizing real-world assets, derivatives, having it on an exchange. The other day, we read an article where Coinbase is trying to take over the world's biggest derivatives exchange. They're coming, okay? Now, it's not affecting price right now. They're going to get, from what I see, they're trying to get everybody set up, get the prices as cheap as they can because they're all buying it up. Well, they will be, I think, in a snap. They'll buy this shit up super quick. Now, they're using private ledgers so you can't see. I've already demonstrated all this with Jed McCaleb from Stellar doing this back at Mt. Gox and stuff. They're using private ledgers. We all know, and they're using dark pool money or something like that. He actually admitted, okay, so we know all the funny stuff is happening. We're not seeing the price increase like we should. Okay, that's fine. We know what's going on. I'm letting you know now. So later when the price goes from 5 cents to $500, boom, like that, you already know. We already discussed it. I don't want to hear, Crypto Hog, man, I missed out. Oh, shit. Yeah, you did. And you're going to be broke because of it. My job is to let you know in advance what happens, and that's what I'm doing here. Google Cloud Universal Ledger, a new distributed ledger that was designed for traditional finance institutions. What do we got here, Crypto Hawk? This is a gateway. This is where you go from traditional finance with derivatives to crypto. They're allowing the traditional financial institutions to get into this so they can take off with cryptocurrency. I'm showing you right here. This isn't little mom and pop little store. This is like massive. CME Group, Google. These are the people that started it all, okay? CME has begun integrating Google Cloud Universal Ledger. Oh, I want you to see what's going on. Traditional finance, like CME Group, is integrating a Google crypto cloud so then they can trade cryptocurrencies. They're merging it right now as we speak. This is what I'm showing you if you're brand new. You still have time to get in on this stuff. Maybe next year it takes off. Maybe in 6 months. I don't know. Maybe in 3 months. We have no idea. All I can do is show you that you got the CME Group mixing with Google's new distributed ledger. What do you think this new distributed ledger is made from? We're going to go over that. I'll show you my opinions. And they're being really secretive about this stuff on who they're using. But I'm going to show you my evidence. Now, let's take a look here. we scroll down. Google Cloud has been expanding into blockchain technology for several years, beginning in 2018 by adding Bitcoin blockchain data to its warehouse. In 2023, Google Cloud added 11 blockchains to its data warehouse. They include Ethereum, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and Optimus. Of course, they're not going to mention anything about Ripple. Okay, let's never talk about Ripple, just only Ethereum based. Now that's what they start with. I'm gonna try to show you what they end with. All right. But remember, each crypto that's good is gonna have a different use case. Now, this article kind of gets into something we don't want it to get into. Let me check my comments and make sure the show is still here. It is. And we got Pizza Shark. Pizza Shark, thank you very much. Tax-free donation. That's what drives motivation with this. And I show you guys the best news. That's for certain. This show took me 2.5 hours to put together. Plus the show's 3.5. Then I got to eliminate spam shit. So we're looking at least 4 hours to 4.5 just on one show. It's a lot of work doing the shit, but it's worth it in the end when everybody ends up rich. Look at this article right here. So we're talking about Google, right? Okay, and CME Group. Google and CME Group. That's who we're talking about here. But let's focus on Google right now. Youth is late. Uh-oh. That's very, very bad behavior. Showing up late to boot camp. Google-backed payment company Ripple. Let me repeat the title of this again, because we don't know who Google is using for their new distributed ledger for derivatives. We have no idea, right? But let's look right here. 2017 is when this article was. Google-backed payment company Ripple is in talks with NPCI. Gee, Crypto Hulk, with the CME and the Google, who are they going to use? What crypto blockchain are they going to use, Crypto Hulk? Oh, I don't know. I know it definitely would not be Google-backed payment company Ripple. I know that's one blockchain Google would never, ever use. So let's look here at Wikipedia. Let's look at who started Google. Let's look at who started Ripple in 2013. Who started Ripple? Let's take a look here on this Wikipedia page. We go down to funding, and it shows May 2013. Oh, Google Ventures. Isn't that something? So we got Google Ventures helped start Ripple. Google-backed Ripple is in talks with NPCI for India. Oh, I'm sure they're not going to pick Ripple for that brand new derivatives platform, Crypto Hulk. Then we have what's called Codius. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. Your screen's going to start glitching right now. Already know. Let's look up Codius. Now, this is not the original Codius that I have, but this one is close enough. And let's eliminate that one. Codius. Okay. What is Codius? Well, it's a implementation of trusted code for smart contracts. And it has smart oracles that are used to tell the oracles that tell the smart contracts, which tells the crypto what to do. Now, Google has something called native client. Google bought native clients sandbox for trusted code. So that means it's interoperable for everything. Codius is a implementation, a program, whatever you want to call it. You cannot buy it. It's called Codius, and it was written and designed for Ripple. Okay. It's basically an Ethereum killer. Okay. It's smart oracles. You've heard of smart contracts? Well, what tells smart contracts what to do? Oracles. Well, guess what tells oracles what to do? Smart oracles. And that, my friends, is Ripple's Codius right there. The replacement for Ethereum, I believe, in the future. Robert Driscoll, pepperoni on that pizza. Well, let's not talk about food. Be well, Hulk. I know I'm just kind of like trying to ease up. I haven't eaten since, I don't know, a couple days ago. So I just kind of ate my first meal. But yeah, I sure would love a pizza. But they said nothing like cheese and shit for like 2 days or whatever. So just, yeah, eat non-dairy, kind of nothing fatty or whatever. So, okay. What we're looking at here is Codius. I showed you it. It was made in 2014, everybody. Look at this. 2014. It was Google's native client. What I'm trying to hammer away at here is that the connections to Google. Now, if you looked in that Wikipedia thing I sent you, is Google and IDG Capital. Those were the first founders of Ripple. Okay, now let's look. IDG Capital, that's Chinese right there. Let me show you that one. IDG Capital, headquartered in Beijing. But Crypto Hulk, so holy shit. Crypto Hulk, you mean Google and a Chinese company invested in Ripple from day one? Pretty much, yeah. China Rock Capital. There's a lot of Chinese companies that invested into Ripple from day one. I'm not getting into it all because that's a whole nother show. I could do that on XDC Crypto, how that's Chinese. But I just wanted to show you the early investors. So we got Google, and they're heavily into Ripple. But now we're getting into derivatives right here. Well, look who's a part of the international swap and derivative right here. It's Ripple. Now that's a $1.2 quadrillion market right there. And we got Broseph, thank you very much, says chosen long ago, XRP. Then we got Youth with a late fee. Yep, that's what you get, man. I put my show up 2-3 hours in advance. I don't care if you're still at work or there's traffic. There's always the radio. Okay, look right here. This article, Ripple integration with the ISDA. Now, Ripple integrating. Are you see what this article says? This is massive right here. Ripple, not Ethereum, nobody else. Ripple has integrated with ISDA. Okay. And that ushers in a $1.2 quadrillion market. Now, if we do some math, let me grab my brain. I go to my calculator section. Let's do something here. Let's just say Ripple gets that whole $1.2 quadrillion. So let's say 1.2. No, that's not going to work. Let's say 1 and add some zeros. 10 million. A billion. Got to turn the phone sideways. I think this is 1 quadrillion here. 1 million, billion, trillion, 3 more zeros. 1 quadrillion divided by a circulating supply of 50 billion XRP. 50 million, billion. That equals a $20,000 XRP. There's your math right there. So we've got Google mixed in with another company working on derivatives with a brand new ledger. I've already shown you like 3 solid connections where Ripple and Google are all working together. Ripple funds Google, on and on. Google backed Ripple. We've seen enough evidence. We already know. Okay. So then we learn about this is all about derivatives market. But then I just showed you where Ripple is integrated into the international swaps and derivatives. And if that's the case and it runs on 50 billion XRP, which is in circulating supply, you never know. Ripple could burn the rest like Stellar did. Stellar burned up 50 billion. The same guy that helped make Ripple made Stellar. So it's the same guy. So maybe Ripple does the same thing. So that's why I'm only talking 50 billion and not 100 billion. Because I think the Treasury of the United States is going to take that 50 billion and hold on to them in the Treasury. That'll bring us to a $10,000 XRP. Now, let's say they don't and they just release all the XRPs into the world, which that is not likely. They're going to save something in case of emergency. But let's just say that would make XRP at $10,000. Now, if XRP Ledger has half of that business, you're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 XRP. But if we go back to the $20,000 figure, because that's how much XRP is in the actual world floating around. We can't count on the escrowed right now. We have to go with how much is loose in supply, about 50 billion. So that would take you to $20,000 XRP. Now, if I'm half wrong, we're still at $10,000 XRP. If I'm 75, 90% wrong, we're still at like $2,000 XRP. There you go. All right. So even if Crypto Hulk's 90% wrong, oh, Crypto Hulk. And we are back again with with YouTube cutting off the channel. So this is, I think, time number 2 within 22 minutes. So yeah, even with Ripple if I'm 90% wrong, you're still at like a $1,000 to $2,000 XRP. So like if Ripple were to only get 10% of the market or 15, it's going to be more. But let's just say they only get 10, 20% of the market. You're still looking at a $2,000 to $4,000 XRP. If they get 5% of the market, I mean, look, there's really not. You got XDC in there, USD. Well, you got Stellar and XRP. Those are your top 3. Top 3 blockchains. Then after that, you got the ISO cryptos, and you can split them all. Let's say 10% of that, you're still looking at $2,000 XRP. Let's say if you get like the ISO cryptos, there's about 8 of those or something. Let's say there's 10. 10, and each 10 gets a portion, which they won't, but let's just say, I mean, you're still looking at a $2,000 XRP. So that's how I'm looking at it. We're having a little fun here, speculating, and you never know where this ends up. Let us go to the next article. Let me read some comments here. MC Prosperity. S. Harib 1, member for 17 months. Dang, it's a 2024 crypto explosion level. Damn, it's almost been 2 years, man. There's a multiplier effect. Right. So like I'm saying, let's say out of a $20,000 XRP with all of that, let's say XRP doesn't have it all. Exactly like I'm saying. Let's say if XRP just has 10% of that market, you're looking at $2,000 XRP. That's with only 10% of that 1.2 quadrillion. I think that's pretty reasonable to me. Something like XRP is only running 10%. That's a minimum. So you're looking at a minimum $2,000 XRP. I don't really think that's far-fetched at all. Far-fetched would be me saying, oh, yeah, XRP is going to be 100% of that, or 90 or 80 or 70. Now, let's just give XRP 10% of that. $2,000, I'd be pretty happy with that, okay? I wouldn't complain. Okay, next article. Oh, here we go again. Something big. Biggie fries and a biggie drink. Let me go with a copy and a paste. This is massive right here. Polygon. Now, I'm not a holder of Polygon. I don't really care about it. I'm not putting it down. Tokenized real estate trading platform launches on Polygon. Now, if you're a real estate agent, you might want to listen to this. If you know a real estate agent, you might want to share this article with them. Real estate exchange, real estate exchange, also known as REX, R-E-X, selected what crypto platform? Polygon, everybody, because of its low transaction fees, fast settlement times, and security features. Okay. Real world asset tokenization platform DigiShares is bringing tokenized real estate trading to Polygon with the launch of real estate exchange, also known as REX. REX in effect. According to March 25th announcement, REX is designed to offer retail investors, that's you and me, everybody, this is not for institutional, it's for us, poor people, okay? You and me can get in on this. If you find that REX token, you can buy that, okay? I believe. You have an option of also getting Polygon, offer retail investors a compliant revenue for fractional property investments in a secondary market, potentially addressing the industry's liquidity restraints. Some people, look, can't get into real estate, or if they get into real estate, you got to buy the property and it ties your money up, right? Now, what this is, it's a way, this is fully legitimate, okay? This is licensed through the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, so everything's on the up and up. It's licensed in MICA, Market and Crypto Assets. That's in Europe. This company is global. So you have an opportunity to buy real estate through, let me tell you what it is, because it's for us. We have access to it, so that's why I'm going to find it. It's realestate.exchange. And their platform is called REX, DigiShares, and the crypto is Polygon that they're using to get this done. So this is designed for retail investors like you and me. It's a compliant venue. There's no rug pull. There's no dumb shit here. You can actually buy real estate, and you're a partial owner of a building. And guess what? You don't have to go through, find a lawyer and a real estate agent and do all the dumb shit. It's kind of like you just point, click, and you buy the shit, and you now own a portion. If you want $1,000 of a building, $10,000 of a building, whatever it is, you own a portion of that building. And when that property value goes up, guess what? So does your crypto. If you want to trade it out and buy something else, you can do that. So this is something where, look, some people are skeptical, but Crypto Hulk, I just don't want to get involved in any more dumb shit crypto things where, you know, it's not based on anything and the price goes to zero the next day and stuff. This is not what that is. That is from the past. Crypto Hulk Show, we don't talk about dumb shit, okay? This is registered with the Securities Exchange Commission. This REX, R-E-X, is licensed. The real estate exchange, REX, is licensed with the United States SEC. And they're participating in the European MICA. They're working on getting regulated all throughout Europe. This sucker's going to take off. This is what I call first mover advantage. If you're somebody who's brand new and you're hearing about REX for the first time, you might want to look into it and get it, okay? Because this is definitely a solid, if you want a crypto that's backed by something real and there's no rug pull, and you got registration with the SEC, which is the United States, and in Europe very soon, this is definitely one that you're going to want to look into. I think I'm going, let's switch here. So we're talking about this platform here, Polygon. Now, what makes Polygon better than an Ethereum, high gas fees and all this stuff, and Ethereum moves super slow? Well, this is one of the main reasons I'm going to tell you is this right here. Let me show you. You have something called Allbridge or Stellar. Now we're seeing the crypto Stellar come into this, okay? Stellar has something called Allbridge, and it connects Stellar, Ethereum, Solana, CeeLo, and Polygon. That real estate is done on Polygon. Now, how does Stellar do this? Stellar has Ultra Stellar and Allbridge to connect and interoperate these cryptos, 1, 2, 3, about 5 of them, okay? Polygon is one of those that's interoperable with Allbridge, and that is massive right there. That's probably a good way on how it gets to be cheap, because the article does talk about cheap transfers, cheap fees and all that stuff. So this is how it's really working. It's running on top of an Allbridge. Now look, all these cryptos do different things. So what I'm trying to show you is that Polygon has its use case. Ethereum has its use case. Allbridge, which is linked up with Stellar, has its use case. So if it's a good crypto, they all work together to get things done. Now, what a bridge does is this is what Allbridge is doing. It allows Polygon to interoperate between different blockchains. That's what this bridge is doing with Allbridge. Now, Ripple has something called Axelar, and that's Ripple's version. It's an Ethereum virtual machine. And we know that the Ripple ledger, I don't know what, there was some number, ILS, whatever, ALS 40, whatever the fuck it is. But Ripple has the side chains on the ledger. So that's their little version of an Ethereum virtual machine. But you got Axelar working with them. I don't know how all that gets done, but I do know that there's side chains on the ledger now. That came out about a year or two ago, maybe. And then you got Axelar acting as a bridge, utilizing an EVM, and that's how it's all interoperable. So each Stellar and then Ripple has their version of a bridge. Got it? Okay. Let's take a look right here. Next article. Let me click out of that one. Oh, here we go. Another good one right here. Circle. So if you like Circle, it runs on Stellar. Some of you guys own Stellar. I don't, but I report news. It doesn't matter what I like or don't like. I just report news, and you sort out what you want to buy and what you don't want to buy. MC Prosperity says, I'm not doing business with Coinbase. They're holding $140 of my money hostage. Okay. Well, we got to take a break now because MC Prosperity now I got to shill Caleb and Brown. I'm an affiliate of Caleb and Brown. It's a crypto brokerage. Let me set it off right here. We just heard from somebody where Coinbase is holding their money. Caleb and Brown doesn't hold people's money. We've already talked to Jim from Caleb Brown. He was on the show last week, and he broke down different things. And now we weren't mentioning any particular crypto exchange's name because that wouldn't be professional if we're talking bad about other exchanges. So me and Jim talked about a particular exchange or two on how they just shut down whenever they want, and you can't get access to your money for sometimes a week, 2 weeks, or a month. Yes. And the difference with Caleb Brown is that, number one, when they hold your crypto, they're not off trading it and staking it. That's yours. So there's a verified plan not to touch your crypto. And what they do is your crypto is in custody with Fireblocks. Now, why is that important? Because 2,000 banks and institutions all around the world, 2,000 of them, use fire blocks for custody to protect. So I figured this. I went with Caleb and Brown because if 2,000 banks, even the United States bank called BNY Mellon, they're partners with Fireblocks. And BNY Mellon is known as the world's biggest custodian. So when I saw that relationship, I'm like, that's interesting. And then I called Caleb and Brown. I studied how they do some things. I like how their custody is set up. That's a big thing to me. I'm not trying to get quantum attacked or nothing like that. So I want the strongest custody of whatever we got. Whatever these 2,000 banks are using, I want to use the same one. I want to be in with the banks. I want the same custody. See, here's what's awesome. I'm a retail investor. I'm not this institutional investor and all that. But I'm allowed to have, this is what's cool about Caleb Brown. They're allowing us to use institutional grade custody, the same that the 2,000 banks are using. They bring us into that same custody that these banks are using. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So next, I asked him, hey, Caleb Brown, have you guys ever had a time where you just like not give people their crypto and tell them there's too much market activity? And Caleb Brown laughed and said, we've never done that. So MC Prosperity, sorry about that, but that just doesn't happen on Caleb and Brown. And that's why I have, one of the reasons why I have them as my sponsor to the show. MC Prosperity said about Coinbase, I called support, horrible, then after another hour got hung up on. Doesn't surprise me. Divina Snyder says, I'll be right back. She's at work. Okay. People are at work listening to Crypto Hulk. Michael Gruner said, MC Prosperity, I spoke with Coinbase only to be told that we cannot tell you anything. So it's your money on Coinbase. You talk to the customer service and they say, we can't tell you anything. Very bad, okay? That's why I don't deal with Coinbase at all. Deal with Caleb and Brown, man. That's the way we go here. Okay, next article. Oh my God. Now we got Circle mixed up with SBI. Let me take a look at this article right here. Okay. Oh, here we got Daniel S. Coinbase delayed my transfer for 3 days and they have no liquidity. Imagine having $5 million in the future, but you can't get it off the exchange. See, this is going to be a problem, okay? And I discussed this with Caleb Brown. Let's say either crypto's making a run up or crypto's making a run down. Maybe a crypto is skyrocketing, or maybe a crypto is skyrocketing down. Let's say you seriously want to get into something or seriously get out of something. If you're at Coinbase, from what I'm hearing people say, you're going to be destroyed, okay? That's why I have Caleb Brown. If we hear right now, if I see some news, I'm like, everybody, you need to get this now. If you're on Coinbase, you won't be able to get it. And it skyrockets up to $1,000, and then they'll allow you to get it. Well, what's the point now? It's already $1,000. Or you're into a crypto that's maybe got a big position in XR. Hey, I got some whales that call me sometimes. Let's say I know a guy's got $1 million in XRP. If something were to happen and I started seeing something about XRP and started to dump, this guy wouldn't be able to get his money out of Coinbase because we're going through repairs. They always do that. They always do that. But why is it they never do that at Caleb and Brown? I'm just saying you can go wherever you want. That's why I like my sponsor. Robert Egizio, I'm back, Mr. Hulk. We are getting that island. I sure hope so. Circle and SBI again. Let me get back to the point. You're going to love this one because I got massive connections that you're going to see. I've got connections no other channel has. Let me show you this. So you got Circle, and they're working with SBI, Sam Bank Ida, okay, SBI. Now, traditionally, we know that SBI is a Ripple partner with Yoshitaka Katao in Japan, right? We see SBI, well, I've shown you what no other channel has. SBI goes back to 2014 with Ripple as a partner, okay? Even 2013. But we got Circle and SBI ignite a stablecoin expansion in Japan. What do we have here? Circle secures Japan's first stablecoin approval. This is the first time right here. This is massive. It unleashes a new era of digital finance, trading and payments through a groundbreaking partnership with SBI Holdings. The title reads in quotes, first and only stablecoin approved for use in Japanese markets. This is so massive right here. Now, Circle runs on Stellar. I'll show you this here in a minute. Circle Internet Group, Inc. advanced its international expansion on March 25 by announcing a strategic launch in Japan, leveraging its local subsidiary, Circle Japan KK, and cementing a partnership with financial conglomerate SBI Holdings. Now, if we understand this, SBI is like an 11-year-old Ripple partner. So Ripple was in there first for wholesale. Now, the stablecoin that Ripple has is obviously the RLUSD. But here so CryptoHawk, what if SBI is a Ripple partner from 11 years ago? Why aren't they using the Ripple Labs USD? That I don't have the answer to, but we will find it out as things go. Now, this is massive to see because the first and only stablecoin that's actually legally approved in Japan. So, but here's your copy and a paste. Here's your Stellar connection with Circle. Trying to get my computer to do this paste. Wow. That's slow. There's like a 3 to 4 second delay when I hit it. On YouTube. Everything else is super quick. When I go to YouTube and try to paste. Okay, now we're like, what, 3 times in 45 minutes? That's about right. Once every 15 minutes. We're on track. Right on YouTube for keeping up the crashing of my show. So we got the first and only stablecoin approved for use in Japan. Now, I just shared with you that Circle is running on Stellar. Now, let's look right here. You've got something called Ripple Trade Japan, and it's showing SBI Bank right there. I showed you guys that on my short little video. Let me take a photo of this, and I'll let you see the date. Let me take a look at this. Okay, I'm going to post this. Go there. Okay, if you go to the Crypto Hulk on YouTube and go to my posts, you'll see this page. I'm not going to send you it because it's got important information that only I want on my show. Because other people just take it and I don't get credit for it. And then everybody tries to act like they're a fucking hero, but they can't find it without me. What we got here is a Ripple Trade Japan page. It's dated 2014. And what we have here is it talks about they've switched to SBI Bank. So this thing where Ripple used to trade, they used to have Ripple trading, and they're using SBI Bank with this. So now we can see like a partnership. You got some called Ripple Trade Japan. You obviously see the Ripple logos there, and they're talking about SBI Bank. So this goes way, way back, all of this here. We got Joshua T888. Awesome, Crypto Hulk. Another day closer. Let's go. Stay strong, Crypto Hulk fams. So there's your Ripple Trade Japan. Now here's a fun one right here. Nobody else has it except me. It's called Cyberbank. I want you to see how integrated Japan was with Ripple first, and then they got together with Stellar Circle, okay? So here's this right here, Cyberbank. Go to the 58-second mark. You can watch the whole video. I'd recommend after the show, watch this whole video. It's only about a minute long. But go to the 58-second mark. What do you see right here? Something called Cyberbank. It says, welcome to Japan's largest virtual currency exchange. Japan-based virtual currency gateway. That means an on-ramp and an off-ramp to the XRP ledger, okay? Japan's first Ripple ATM and issues Ripple cash cards. You ever notice how they're not issuing Ripple securities cards? Because this whole court case with Ripple and the SEC and Gary Gensler, that was fake. See, no other channel is like mine. I'm showing you evidence right here that Ripple was in Japan, has an ATM machine. You can get Ripple cash cards. We're not dealing with securities here. No other channel except me is telling you that the whole Ripple case was fake. We have no crypto laws in America. The SEC cannot tell you what to do with crypto. The IRS cannot tell you what to do with crypto. The Department of Justice cannot tell you what to do with crypto. I used to work for the Department of Justice. I think I'd know. Then I worked for the state Supreme Court level. I worked in court Thursdays for about 2 years, okay? So I know a little bit about the court system, you could say. And this whole court case was dumb shit, all right? Daniel S., thank you for the tax-free donation. Daniel says, I'm not a banker, but USD Circle and stablecoins would allow the Fed to have a 24/7 reserve window, like when banks run out of money and go to the Fed. There you go with that. Treasury Department, here we go. This is a little bit of conspiracy, but this is my conspiracy, which I've been telling you for about 5 years now. The Ripple escrow is going to the Treasury of the United States. I want to show you a little bit about this article here. Report, Treasury Department seeks more control over the FDIC and the OCC. The FDIC is part of the Federal Reserve, everybody. Looks like, and then the OCC, they're in charge of all the banks, okay? But the FDIC provides insurance for banks. What I'm showing you right here is a starting of a squeeze out. This is massive right here. This is massive news. For the first time in our country, we have the federal government trying to push out the Federal Reserve, which is about the most fake organization you can get, stealing America, destroying America, printing all this money We don't even know. Like, people don't even know the Federal Reserve. They think it's part of the United States. No, it's a group of rich people fucking over America. Trump is in there getting rid of that dumb shit. But let's read this article right here. The Treasury Department is reportedly drafting recommendations that would streamline, meaning push out the Federal Reserve, and other banking regulators and give the Treasury more control over it. The Treasury began drafting these regulations after concluding that the regulators, meaning the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency and the FDIC, probably cannot be merged without congressional approval. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Trump already said he wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve. It's a garbage organization. It's keeping Americans in slavery. So Trump is not having it. And you can ask most people, the Federal Reserve is the most garbage institution we got. That's the biggest enemy to the United States, is the Federal Reserve. And gaining more control over the banking regulations would help the Treasury reduce the independence of the Federal Reserve. There you go, right there. What Trump's going to do, and I've heard this about a year ago when people were saying, and I didn't believe it at first. I just didn't know America could have enough power to do this. Now I know why they tried to take out a couple times, because they're scared as hell if he gets in office, right? This is why. The Ripple, and I said this back around May of 2020, the escrow for XRP is going to go to the Treasury Department. Then they're going to gain control over it. What I see is this. You got France. I already showed you this. France now has control over the XRP Ledger Foundation, right? So there's like a balance of power. France controls the Ledger Foundation, and America controls the actual XRP. How about that one? The Federal Reserve gets back. We push it back and reduce its power so that the United States and the Treasury have control over what we call the XRP. France has got the Ledger, and the Federal Reserve is somewhere in the back sucking dicks, okay? That's probably what Jerome Powell likes to do on the weekends. That's just what I heard from a friend of a friend. The FDIC, like other regulatory agencies, is rapidly being reshaped. Let me repeat this again. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, that's the Federal Reserve Insurance, is rapidly being reshaped. With Trump and Elon Musk, with this DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, they're getting rid of dumb shit. And the Federal Reserve is going to be on that shit list, okay? I'm shocked. I heard about them, people trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I'm like, I don't even think that's possible. And they're doing it. I'm tremendously shocked at this point. And I want them to keep doing it. I want them to just completely get rid of the Federal Reserve, because they just control the whole world and they fuck everybody over. So this is very positive from what I'm seeing. And it makes sense from what I felt 5 years ago, that the XRP would end up in the Treasury and not spread throughout the whole fucking world like some kind of world bank or something controlling it. No, keep that shit in the Treasury of the United States, and we give it to who we think needs to divvy it up, okay? That's how we do that. Very interesting news with that right there. We're at 54 minutes, and I'm going to call it a wrap. I've got 1 to 2 more articles, maybe one. Yeah, but I don't want to squeeze it in 5 minutes. This article is a solid one. I got to take 5 to 10 minutes on it. So let me check questions or comments on what we went over, or if you have something in general that you haven't been able to ask me, now's your time. I'm not going to explain in detail typing and comment section. So if you're somebody that wants to know a question or if you have a question, I'm going to try to answer it. Now's your time to do that. Let me check here in the comments. Yesterday's executive order dealt with this. Gordon Logan says, hey, Hulk, hope you're well. I'm doing all right. I'm still kind of struggling. It's a little bit, I'm still kind of weak, like breathing and stuff, but yeah, I'm trying to get through this. It kind of sucks. I'm going to try to walk on a treadmill just a little bit later just to get the heart. Sometimes you can get your immune system kicked in your body back. So I'm going to push it just enough to where I start feeling stressed and maybe sweating a little. And I'm not going to go out and kill it today, but I'm going to ease into a treadmill, go about 2 miles or so, and I don't know, half hour or whatever. Just kind of push it a little, but nothing. Yeah, just enough to start to kick my own ass a little bit. So, and I'll see tomorrow about starting it on weights. I'll probably do like half a workout or 2/3 of one tomorrow, and we'll see. The escrow was a primary topic when Garlinghouse and Alderati met with the big guy for dinner at the White House. Oh, I know. I'll send you some Reiki. Is XRP your main crypto you hold? No, now it's XDC. Okay, so there's been like spammers that try to give out like fake phone numbers to call them and stuff, or fake emails. I'm not, okay. The only time we talk is when you become a member and it's on this show. And then for people that do the $500 one, then you can contact me through like Twitter or whatever, and I'll go to my YouTube page and look you up. If you give a $500 donation, then you get access to call me whenever if you have questions and stuff. A lot of times, and you don't have to be rich to do that. And maybe if we don't talk all that much, I'll give you like 2 months. You know, I'm fair with stuff. But I mainly have business people call me who don't have time to watch the show 5, 6, 7 hours a week. That's 30 hours. And we're back here about 4 times. So Ripple, I mean, YouTube is right on track. My show is canceled about 4 times this hour. So it's once every 15 minutes. So congrats. But we're back again. So yeah, just watch spammers. Now, Richard Wiedner wants to know how to become a member. What you got to do is go to YouTube on your phone, load it on your phone, and then you'll see options. If you're just watching on your computer and stuff, it won't be able to work. So it has to be through a phone. You've got to establish a YouTube account, get a member and user number and all that. So that is it. Cardano still worth it. I've never been a Cardano fan, so I can't tell you. So yeah, I won't be asking anybody their phone number. Like the scammers will try to pretend to be me and all that. I just showed you how to contact me on the show. So if you're already a member, I'm not going to be contacting. You're the one who contacts me. Hey, Crypto Hulk, I paid $500. Then I go to my YouTube. You contact me on YouTube or whatever. I'm sorry, my Twitter. And I'll look up in my YouTube account that you did, in fact. See, the reason I do a $500 donation is because a lot of people they've canceled before. If they do a $500 membership, then they'll cancel. So what I do now is once you give a donation, that shit's non-refundable. So if you want access to calling, I'm not going to be in the chats giving you my phone number for you to call me. What I do is you pay $500 through a donation, and then I look back and see that $500 donation, whatever, then there you go. So anyhow, you want my phone number, Hulk? No thanks, not right now. But okay, this is the end of this show. I got to go do some shit. Got to get on this treadmill, build my lungs up again, and get my immune system charged. But I'll try to make a show tonight between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time. So I got to look for news later and put something together. But somewhere between like a 5 and a 6 p.m., I think somewhere in there is about fair. And I'll try to get better. I'll see y'all in my next broadcast.